Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the channel, Shelly's Millions. I don't have a specific topic that I want to talk about this morning. Um, I live in Los Angeles, and while it looks like the fires are mostly contained, people are able to go back to both the Pacific Palisades and Altadena and see what's left of their property, if their properties were spared. I have I I'm thinking about a lot, right? And I don't know if it's appropriate to think about or if it's okay to share. I think a lot of you know that I grew up in Pasadena. I certainly spent a lot of time in Altadena. My middle school was in Altadena. My babysitter was in Altadena. Like, a lot of things that we did was in Altadena. They keep showing, um I'm not actually sure if it's Foxes or Foxies. Hi, Sean, happy Sunday. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just got my haircut. If any ladies are in here watching, how much does a haircut and dye cost these days? Hi, Family Dollar, it's so good to see you. Yeah, and of course, you guys, if you have topics that you wanna talk about, just please let me know. Okay, Family Dollar says, "When you get a high yield savings account, when does this interest earned per month truly reflect? It's not on a daily basis, but at the end of the month." Yes, and I'm gonna share something. I feel like it's gonna be confusing, but we'll do it anyway. I now have 2 different high yield savings accounts. I have one with Robinhood. It pays 4.5% interest, but there's a $5 monthly fee. But they were running all sorts of promotions where if you signed up for Robinhood Gold, which has a $5 monthly fee, like, they would give you a 1% back on the amount you paid. So I just need to watch it and make sure that the $5 fee doesn't end up hurting me. Hi, Heidi. So on Robinhood, I will show you how it looks to me. I can see it accruing daily, but it hasn't paid out yet. So, um, yeah, I can show you all of these things. Can you see this though? Okay, so interest accrued this month, 46.81, but it has not paid out yet. Okay, then I've got American Express. And honestly, I barely have anything in there because there was another promotion with Robinhood where if you transferred $3,000, I think, that it would give you a boost on your interest. So I did that and I barely have any money in my American Express. I'm just going to tell you the interest rate that it would pay and how often it pays out. And even though the Robinhood one, even though you can see it accruing daily, so you can see how much you've earned so far, it hasn't paid out yet. Okay, so my American Express high yield savings account pays 3.8%. There's no monthly fees on that one. So that's the one that I tend to recommend more to somebody else. An American Express high yield savings currently at 3.8%. Joel, you're with Ally. What is that one at? That one pays out every December 12th. So it also, like, you can't just put $3,000 in or $10,000 in on December 11th and expect to get like the full payout. Like, it accrues daily but pays out monthly. I think that's probably a good way to say it. So it's looking at the average. Yeah. But something else on Robinhood. And Joel, I think we were talking this month. So in interest on American Express, I got $37 on September 12th. So I opened it in August. September 12th, $37. October 12th, $23. So that's $60. November 12th, $21. So that's $80. December 12th, $12, because that's when I was starting to transfer over the money to Robinhood. So that's $92. And then on Robinhood, you can see where it says lifetime interest paid is $136. So I'm a little over $200 now in interest. I think we were saying maybe 300. And then this month, though, is going to be my best single month at 46.81. And that is, we're a little more than halfway through the month. So I'm going to earn almost $90 in interest just this month from Robinhood. Hi, good morning, Erin. Nice to see you. Oh, I can't tell, but it looks like on your profile picture that we have similar colored hair. Ladies, Heidi, how much does it cost to get hair done these days? Do you know? Erin, do you know? Because I feel like I paid too much. And then also when I put the hair behind my ear, like some of it ends here and the rest ends down here. Like that's kind of, I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Okay. Joel says, with most high yield savings account, you don't see the interest earned until the end of the month. But Ally says it's how much per day you're earning. In your case, it's like $1.92. Yeah. So it's the same right now with Robinhood. It's showing me how much I've earned so far that day, but it won't pay out until the end of the month. And then American Express, while I like them and it's 3.8, Joel, what is your rate right now? So American Express is at 3.8. Robinhood, I had a bunch of promotions, so I'm still getting 4.5% interest on Robinhood. So that's pretty good. That is kind of like a teaser rate. It's going to expire soon. Okay. Oh, you do your own. Well, yours looks great. So I asked for a strawberry blonde. And it's like, anyway, 3.8%. Yeah, so that's the same that American Express is currently offering. Joel, I believe you said you're with Ally Bank. And then I have two now. I have one with Robinhood and one with American Express. My American Express one right now, I only have like $4 in there because it makes more financial sense right now for me to have mine in Robinhood since I can get that 4.5% interest rate. Also, I think this is just like interesting to me, right? I don't know if it's interesting to you. So, oh, it's 11:11. Let's make a wish. I'm going to wish that the fire victims are able to work with their insurance companies quickly and easily. That's my wish for today. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But I paid a bunch. Okay. Joel says that his checking account, if you were to look into it, makes it look like I'm super broke. It's only because I put all my money in my it says high yield savings account, but I know you mean yield. I want to put one in my high yield savings account. That'd be fun. Okay. So I'm the same, Joel. I have like a transfer going in place right now. So my savings account or my checking account, because I just transferred 300 more to Robinhood, I have $278, and that's to last me 2 weeks until I get paid again. Ba, 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 ba. But I wanted to show you the mortgage payment. And in my savings account, I have over $19,000. So I could, if I wanted to, I could pay my whole mortgage off, right? But if we look at, I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you see that interest rate? It says that last month I paid $45.13 in interest. So it makes, but I've already made, and we're not even through the whole month, $46 and some change in interest by having the money in Robinhood. So it wouldn't make financial sense to pay off. Yeah, okay, I paid over 100 for this. She cut it. She said it was full highlights and dye. And I mean, she did do that. I saw her do all those things, but it was definitely over 100. I wish I would have paid about 100 plus tip, but I did not. Okay. So it makes more financial sense right now for me personally to keep the money in the savings account and not pay off my house than it would to pay off the house. And paying off the house would give me a certain peace of mind, but it's actually it's not the financially smart thing to do. And let's even separate out, then we get into the nitty-gritty. And like, I don't think I want to break this down today, but inflation is higher. My interest rate on my house is 2.75%. So basically, as long as I'm making more than that in interest, it's not going to make sense to pay off the house. On top of that, as long as inflation is higher than 2.75%, even if I had no money in the savings account, it doesn't make sense to make extra house payments because the interest rate that I'm paying on the house is less than the inflation rate. So I have enough to pay off my house right now, but I'm not going to do it. And it's tempting. And Joel, like I've talked about the psychology of like having the money in the checking account or an account that's not high interest, and somehow like it feels temporarily like you're almost like losing the money for a second. You're like, oh, I've had this money in this one spot for this long, and I like seeing it there. I think it's scary a little bit to do something new with your money. And it's like it's very tempting to pay off the house just to know that it's paid off. But it doesn't actually make the most financial sense. Okay, Ben says, interesting discussion about savings account. Weren't interest rates before the pandemic only about 2%? What are the chances of it getting back to that low level? I feel like things fluctuate. I actually think that right before both Joel and I started putting our money in the high yield savings accounts, I think that they were like 1.9% or 1.5%, um, or much, much lower. Now, still in terms of like paying off my house because of inflation, even if interest rates dropped that low, it wouldn't make sense for me to pay off the house because of inflation. But it would be more tempting. Like if I could physically see that I was paying more in interest on my house than I was accumulating interest in the savings account, which would start to happen if those interest rates became lower, then that would be okay. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Erin. Yeah, she cut it a lot, and it's a little frizzy right now, right? Because I haven't straightened it or put anything in it yet today. She cut it, did full highlights, and dyed it, but yeah. Um, and I like the color. I've had this picture in my wallet literally for 10 years. So I like the color. It's got some red in there. It's supposed to be a strawberry blonde. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I imagine most of you did not come here though to talk about hair. But if you want to, we can talk about inflation on these haircuts and tipping and everything. Because boy, that hurt my wallet. But it's okay. It's okay. I deserved it. I have not had a haircut or dyed my hair in over a year. And I think it's good for like personal care and things like that to take care of yourself, to show to the world that you are invested in presenting the best version of yourself possible. For a long time, I didn't quite see that. Okay. 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 Got it. Got it. Got it. Color only, never over 100. Okay. Perfect. And highlights are always the thing that cost the most. Guys, if you don't know about ladies' hair, it costs a lot. All right. So, one of the things about the fires, right? As a homeowner, I really think about these things, and as someone who my insurance bill tripled, right? My homeowner's insurance bill tripled, and I feel like the insurance company that I got it through. Do I have that paperwork in here? Sorry, I don't think. No. Bamboo, is this it? I think this is it. I don't know what bamboo is. Okay. And this is not like a super duper a lot of money. But my insurance went up to $1,588.97, and it used to be like less than $600. Okay. And now it's with Bamboo Insurance. There's this weird disclaimer that I wanted to show you guys if possible. Dividend credit. What is that? Oh, interesting. Oh no. Terrorism and war exclusion. Oh. So definitely my house would not be insured if there was a war. That's so sad. Or if there was an act of terrorism. Military or naval air forces, any government or sovereign power, any other authority using military personnel or other agents, any authority maintaining or using military, naval, or air forces, an agent of such government power or authority. Oof. Okay. Homeowners and policy, loss deductibles, property coverages. We cover the dwelling on the resident's premises shown in the declaration page. Okay. Property not covered. Animals, birds or fish, motor vehicles. The following additional debris removal. Okay, it says they do pay for that. Perils against insured. Trees, shrubs, plants. Fire department will pay up to $500 for your liability assumed by fire department. We insure for sudden and accidental direct physical loss due to the described in coverage C caused by a peril listed below, unless the loss is excluded in section 1 exclusions. So they do cover fire or lightning. Where's section 1 exclusions? Declarations. Sorry, I'm just curious about like how this works because I don't really know. Combustible wood siding, combustible roof. What? Year renovated 1824. What? No, my house was built in 1924. Year built 1927, but year renovated was 1824. I don't think that matches up. Replacement cost. Where are these exclusions? Okay, exclusions. Oh, terrorism and war. Maybe that's it. I feel like that's not it though. Okay. Basically, like, what I don't quite get is how are the insurance companies going to recover? Like, even if they get even if they get $1,500 for me, and even if they only replace the value of my house when I bought it, right? Like, how are they going to pay all of that? Like, do they actually have the money to do all of that? And then how does that affect like property value? Like, I know a lot of people, right? This is so grim, but I'm curious, right? Because like I'm trying to plan for my future, right? And I know a lot of you are too. So I'm trying to figure out like what the best thing to do moving forward is. And instead of like continuing to just look through documents while you guys are watching, I'm just going to share the thoughts that are in my head. I'm single. I don't have any kids. So I was thinking, oh, I could like leave my house to someone if they take care of me when I'm older. I know that even though like it doesn't make sense for a lot of people, especially if they have people that they want to donate their house, like leave to their house in a will, that might not apply to me because I don't have kids. My friends are going to be my own age. They have homes of their own for the most part. My mom will probably not be here by the time I pass. So something like a reverse mortgage as I get older and I need to fund my care since I don't have a kid uh, to take care of me. Not that kids are obligated to take care of you, but like I'm taking care of my mom, or I'm not taking care of her, but she lives with me, right? Like there's nobody to live with me that's younger that might be able to help me if I needed some help, right? So I'm going to have to figure out how to pay for that. And I thought maybe a reverse mortgage might be something that I would do. Um, or I thought that selling my house, and downsizing, that might be an option for me. I also contemplated, since my insurance has gone up about 3 times what it was, but my house is so close to being paid off. If I paid off my house, I wouldn't have to carry insurance on it. It's a good idea, but I would not have to. I could just run the risk and hope that nothing happened to the house and go from there. What I worry about, or not what I worry about, but like what I think about in terms of the fire, last week we talked about is FEMA doing a land grab and how, um, and FEMA says that that's not true, right? But I do think that what happens is when there's big major fire like this, right? I think about, it's hard not to try and put yourself in their shoes and think, what would I do if it were me? So do the people still want to live in the neighborhood if their house if stood, but you have to drive past all the houses that didn't stand? Do you still want to live there? If you keep your house insured, right? And this is what they're saying happened in the Palisades. They're saying that a lot of those homes were paid off and a lot of the people did not have insurance policies on the house. But I think, and I'm not quite sure how this works, so I would love to hear if somebody knew. So even though FEMA isn't doing like a land grab, they're not trying to take someone's land. But after a disaster of this size, they have to go and assess, is the land still safe to live on? And especially in a state like California, we have so many laws and permits and things that need to happen. If the houses were close, are they going to approve the permits? Are people actually going to be able to rebuild? And if they're not able to rebuild in the same spot, like if FEMA comes and they say, you know what, it's not safe to build on this plot of land anymore. And then FEMA talks to like the insurance company or whatever and says, hey, like do the insurance companies just give you cash and say, sorry, your house is a total loss? But do they give you cash? I wonder if I could just call my old insurance company maybe and ask. Um, I'm just curious, like what happens if they say we can't rebuild? And then a lot of times, like the insurance policies, like I don't know how much a house in the Palisades was 40 years ago, but a lot of people, like I've lived in my house now 13 years. My house is worth a lot more, but my house is only insured for what I bought it for. It's not insured for replacement value. It's not. Why? Because I can't afford the insurance for what it would be for replacement value. So, like, do you keep insurance on a paid off house? Do you let it go? I mean, the hope, right, would be that this never, never, never happens to someone. And then insurance would be a good deal, but like, I don't know. I just don't know. Also, what I was digging for in my, oh, here it is. Here it is. This is the notice that I wanted to share with you guys. Okay. Did they give me an earthquake quote? Does this just like come with my 10% deductible? Well, how much is the earthquake insurance? It says about valid for 45 days. Okay. Scattershot 8 said my homeowners went up last year. You're in Pennsylvania. You asked your agent why, and he said because of the natural disasters. That's fine. Gladly help my fellow Americans where I can. And I feel that way too, but like it really, and I have low insurance, right? Because my house is not that much. I would say that probably the average house in California is worth at least $400,000. So I'm going to say that probably that's 4 times the value of my house or the cost of my house. And those homes have now gone up in value. So if my $100,000 house cost $600 to insure, I'm going to assume that someone else's house was $2,400 a year to insure, so $200 a month. But if everybody else's went up 3 times, now we're talking $600 a month, and that's a month, not a year, to insure, and then that becomes a lot. So I just don't know if people can afford it. And then I got this wonderful thing. Let me read you this little gem. The insurance policy that you have purchased is being issued by an insurer that is not licensed by the state of California. Because I just needed to find anyone that would give me insurance because a lot of places won't insure California anymore. P.S. This is Bamboo Insurance. I wonder if Bamboo Insurance is still going to be around after these fires. But anyway, important notice. The insurance policy that you have purchased is being issued by an insurer that is not licensed by the state of California. These companies are called non-admitted or surplus line insurers. And I'm also going to say, so like, the bank requires that I have insurance on the house, but like this already, like sentence 1 does not sound like this is going in the right direction. 2, the insurer is not subject to the financial solvency regulation and enforcement that apply to California licensed insurers. So that's what I was saying. Solvency, right? That means ability to pay. I'm not sure if that's the official definition. Should I look at that? Solvency means you can pay. You're solvent, right? Let's look up the actual definition of solvency. I should probably just look up that whole policy. Solvency definition. The possessions of assets in excess of liabilities. Ability to pay one's debts. So the company that I'm insured with, because they're not licensed by the state of California, means that they don't have to keep enough cash to actually pay out all the claims. They don't have to be solvent. Okay. Number 3, the insurer does not participate in any of the insurance guarantee funds created by California law. Therefore, these funds will not pay your claims or protect your assets if the insurer becomes insolvent and is unable to make payments as promised. So how many people, and I'm not trying to be a jerk, I'm worried for people. How many people that had insurance? Honestly, this seems like I'm paying $1,600 a year just for a piece of paper that's worthless. That's how it seems to me. Right? This is like, hey, we're not going to, maybe if one house catches on fire every 10 years, they'll have enough. But for something like these fires, I'm not holding my breath, right? I am happy to see so many people come together on GoFundMe and things like that, but it's sad how many people are needing to turn to GoFundMe. And there's not enough, there's enough GoFundMes, but the people that want to help, or at least some of the people that want to help, like me, I don't have enough to help everyone. Come and have a sip of coffee. I know this is a grim topic, but like the video. Don't like insurance companies, maybe. Okay, number 4. The insurer should be licensed either as a foreign insurer in another state in the United States or as a non United States alien insurer. You should ask questions of your insurance agent, broker, or surplus line broker, or contact the California Department of Insurance at the toll free number 1 800 927 4357 or internet website at www.insurance.ca.gov and ask whether or not the insurer is licensed as a foreign or non United States alien insurer. Uh oh. Sorry. And for additional information about the insurer, you may also visit the NAIC's internet website at www.naic.org. The NAIC, the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, is the regulatory support organization created and governed by the chief insurance regulators in the United States. 5. Foreign insurers should be licensed by a state in the United States, and you may contact that state's Department of Insurance to obtain more information about that insurer. You can find a link to each state from this NAIC internet website. And then 6, for non United States alien insurers, the insurer should be licensed by a country outside the United States. And dang it, I lost the page because I'm out of order in this. But either way, like, you guys can see that this is a piece of paper that I pay $1,600 for a year so that the insurance company, so that my bank is satisfied that I have insurance. But do you really have insurance if they're not required to stay solvent? They're not licensed by the state of California, and if the funds will not pay your claims or protect assets if the insurer becomes insolvent and is unable to make payments as processed. It's like, it's just a $1,600 piece of paper, right? That my bank requires. It would be super nice to have like 5 million and put them in high yield savings accounts. But then again, you're only insured up to 250K and hopefully all your banks don't go under. Yeah. And Joel, I need to reach out. I don't know if he'll see, but I used to be in the Graham Stephan mentorship and I am really, really curious because Graham has more than $1 million. Would we just have 10 different, would we just have a bank account with every bank? Like, would you just have 250,000 in Wells Fargo, 250 in, and also there's only so many high yield savings accounts, right? But so like if we had 5 million, what's 5 million divided by 250? 25? Would we have 25 different bank accounts? I don't even know if there's 25 different high yield savings accounts. I don't know what this means. Joel says, I assume you could just have many high yield savings account and divide the 5 million evenly amongst them. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Also, though, I do think that there's like a cutoff point, right? Where I don't think you are able to earn interest on top of like more interest on top of the interest, right? Like there might be a maximum amount that they pay you interest on, but maybe not. I don't know. I haven't carefully read. Unfortunately, that's not a problem that I've had to face yet. Eric from 90 Day Fiance. I have not seen 90 Day Fiance. Joel says maybe put them in multiple savings accounts and cash deposit accounts, just a whole bunch. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, but I really would like to know from someone that's actually a millionaire that has $1 million in assets. And I know even for someone like Graham, because he talks about his finances, like I don't know about it. I have never sat down and like looked at his books myself, but he shares it publicly on the internet. So like, he says that he keeps over, I wanna say it's, like, over 1,000,000 or over 3,000,000 in cash, so that if, like, a really good opportunity, a business he wants to buy, property he wants to buy, if that were to come up and available, like, he would have the cash to do it. Um, so he keeps 3,000,000 sitting in cash. But yeah, is that across multiple accounts? Or just because, like, at some point, right? At some point, and I'm not near this point, but at some point, Graham also talks about the cost value of time, and he talks about, like, why in some situations it might be better to order Uber Eats than it would to spend an hour cooking for yourself. Basically, if my time if I could spend an hour making one video that would pay me $100, it would be worth it to spend that hour making that video that would make me $100 versus if I was like, "Ah, I should save money and go cook my own dinner." Because now I'm spending an hour cooking my dinner, although this has not worked for me, and I'm gonna tell you why in 1 second. Um, it's not worth me taking an hour out of my day to go cook dinner to save. Let's say it costs me $10 to cook my own dinner, but it takes an hour of my time, and that's the only hour I had to use that day that would to make a video that could make me $100. So then it's more like I'm losing $90 than saving whatever the difference is between what it would cost to just get Uber Eats. So, like, let's say it would cost me $50 to get Uber Eats, and it would only cost $10 to make food at home, but then I lose out on the opportunity to make $100 making a video. So then really I've lost money. This never works for me though, because when I'm looking at Uber Eats, I take so long to decide what I want to eat that it would have just actually taken less time to get up and go make my own food. So, okay, Lisa Bennett. Hi, Lisa. I haven't seen you in here before. So thank you for commenting. Seems like the insurance mess in California has no easy solution. Those of us who have homeowners insurance will end up paying with our premiums to make up the difference. I completely agree, but a lot of us, and this is what happened like right before these big fires. My insurance went up last April. I thought it was later in the year, but it was April. Policy term expiration date. So mine's about to renew with this shady, possibly they're at least out of state, if not overseas. It doesn't actually tell you. Their mailing address is in Utah, bambooinsurance.com. But they don't have to play by the California laws. This insurance policy is being issued. It's not by a non-admitted or surplus line insurance. The insurer is not subject to financial solvency regulation. Because how would you be, right? Like, I don't see there's like $50 billion in damage that I last saw I think that's just in the Palisades fire. So how would a company stay solvent? They're gonna have to get like these out of state things. But then number 3 says the insured does not participate in this is just for my homeowner's insurance policy, and I'm okay, I'm not in the fires for anybody that's new. But it shows you how easy this could happen, especially because I grew up in Pasadena, which is right under Altadena. Also, I'm gonna tell you guys like a little funny, cute anecdote in just 1 second because like I feel like this whole live stream has kind of been a bummer. The insurer does not participate in any of the insurance guarantee funds created by California law, number 3, in my insurance document. Therefore, these funds will not pay your claims or protect your assets if the insurer becomes insolvent and is unable to make payments as processed. So at any point, this insurance company could just be like, meh, I fold. So to me, while some people are sitting here being like, well, it's their fault if they dropped their insurance. Is it though? Because like this is literally just it's a $1,600 piece of paper that's not worth it is not worth the paper it's printed on, from what I can tell. Okay. Alex says, yeah. Oh, so sorry. To finish my thought, So my insurance just went up 3 times what it was last year. Exactly. Yes, Lisa, your policy is just what you think, not worth the paper it's written on, but it does what the bank requires. Yeah. But I can see why some people would drop their insurance, and this is something that I'm thinking about as I near being able to pay off my house. Do I keep insurance? Because once my house is paid off, do I keep insurance or do I just risk it? Would I be better off taking and $1,600 is not much to insure my house, right? That's what I'm paying a year. $1,600. So my insurance rate's pretty good. But again, if there was actually an emergency and I go to file a claim and the insurance company, I can't drop it right now. I would not be able to drop it. If I dropped this company, the bank would find a company on its own because actually, somehow how the insurance works, I actually got a letter that said, "Hey, you didn't get insurance, so the bank's gonna pick a company for you. It could be a lot more money than you're paying." And that's the thing, I might be able to find an insurance company that would be better, but at what expense to me? Because this this policy that went into effect, um oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, hold on. Wait, we gotta read some of this stuff too. Okay, I found the other page that was page 2 of this. But if I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry because I feel like that was important. So right now I couldn't drop my insurance because the bank does require me to have it. The bank would find insurance for me. I don't know if it would be better or worse. I don't know if it would cost more or cost less. I will say that last year in 2020, the 2023 to 2024 insurance year, my policy was $683 a year, so a little over $50. Um, a little over $50 a month. The 2024 to 2025 year, it went up 3 times, right? And my insurance is still cheap because my house is a very affordable house, and it's only insuring it at what I bought it for. It's not at replacement value, but my insurance went up to $1,599 basically. So let's call it $1,600 or almost 3 times what I was paying. So that's a lot. That's a huge, huge, huge jump for a company that pretty much says right here in writing. Some of these other pages, right? They're in normal size writing. All these things big and bold, right? Okay. I found the other rules here that say California maintains a list of approved surplus line insurers, LASLI. Ask your agent or broker if the insurer is on the list or view that list. Why can't they just tell me? Why can't they be like, "Hey, we're Bamboo Insurance and we're good. Like, we're on the list of approved surplus line insurers." I would assume, and this may not be a good hello Debbie, little green guy right here for you says hello. Um I would assume that the bank wouldn't allow them to insure the house if they weren't on the list of approved insurers, but who knows? Okay, this is also important. Number 8, if you, as the applicant, required that the insurance policy you have purchased be effective immediately, which it was, either because existing coverage was going to lapse within 2 business days. Oh no, maybe this is not right. Because it was not 2 business days, or because you were required to have coverage within 2 business days and you did not receive this disclosure form and a request for your signature until after coverage became effective, you have the right to cancel this policy within 5 days of receiving this disclosure. If you cancel, the premium will be prorated and any broker's fee charged for the insurance will be returned to you. Hi, Debbie. Okay, Joy and Joey. Joey, running to look at my insurance policy. My goal is never, right? During the pandemic, when I was talking about unemployment insurance, my goal is never to like worry people. But I do think it's important that we share these things. And my insurance policy, the one that already went up 3 times this year, not 3 times this year, but it went up 3 times what it was last year for the 2024 to 2025 year. But my year's up April 19th. So I'm curious to see, will my insurance rate stay the same? Or are they going to be like, hey, look at all these fires. Your insurance rates are going up another 3 times what they are. Now, I could still afford that. That's where it would start to get pretty difficult, though. Like, most of us do not have that kind of money. And again, my house is pretty much the cheapest house that ever was in the state of California. So other people like people, and I'm sorry, Altadena was nice, right? Altadena, like, was the good neighborhood, right? You lived near a canyon and hiking trails and wildlife and waterfalls. It was a beautiful area, which means the houses there are more expensive. So those houses are going to be more. The houses in the Palisades, people were saying that like their insurance policies were like 12,000 a year, right? Which is 1,000 a month. I could not afford $1,000 a month to insure my house. If that was how much it was, I wouldn't be able to do it. And then this year, when insurance companies started exiting the state of California, and we were scrambling to find other insurance companies so that we could meet those bank requirements for people in like the Palisades, their insurance went up from like $1,000 a month, from 12,000 a year to $36,000 a year. So that's $3,000 a month. And dang it, I can't remember who commented last year. I started to talk about how like in the Palisades a lot of celebrities live up there. I'm not saying like, oh, they can afford it or they deserve it or they're rich, who cares? That was not my intention at all. If that came off like that last week. What I was trying to say is a lot like one of the celebrities that I saw in the affected by the fire was this guy that was in 3 Men and a Baby, right? I had to look him up because I didn't remember who he was anymore. Okay. And the fact that I had to look him up and that I didn't remember who he was, like maybe he at one time was rich, but if you haven't worked a lot and you're just trying to live off of what you saved, like even though maybe there were actors or celebrities, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're rich in today's dollars, right? It just doesn't. And even if they were rich in today's dollars, no one deserves the kind of disaster and devastation these people are experiencing. But even if they once were rich doesn't mean that they are today. And adding like say $2,000 more in your budget just for insurance that potentially says something like mine does, like, hey, if we're insolvent, we're not going to pay you, is not good. Okay. I love that. Remind me to do the anecdote. Scattershot8 says, I'll do a YouTube video with my cat. She's not pulling her weight around here. On Instagram, have you seen the things that's like, this is how much my pet made as an influencer? And some of them are making like $4,000 a month. So put that cat in a costume right now and start making some money. Okay. Lisa says bank insurance would be worse, most likely. I feel for homeowners. Don't want to get too political, but what the heck are our leaders doing to help? Yeah, I don't like to get too political either, so I appreciate that. But it's tricky, right? Sometimes people are like, Shelly, you're so calm and you seem so fair, like you would be a great politician. But um I don't envy them. Like, what do you do, right? One of the things that's being said is that I don't know, we couldn't do something with the water or something because of like these weird fish and the weird fish are like dying off. I don't know. I didn't read it carefully. I'm just going to say that. So do not quote me on any of the things that I'm about to say next. But as a person, right? I can say, if this fish population is dying off, it might mean something is wrong. So maybe I should do something to protect the fish. Right, it's all well and good to protect the fish, but they're saying that was now at the cost of the people and the homes that were lost during the fire, and that basically Californians are idiots for protecting the fish. But if we don't protect the fish, right now, okay, I can be like, yeah, of course we should have protected the people in the houses before we protect the fish. But is protecting the fish indicative of like a bigger issue that's going on that if we don't address, like, I think that we just have a lot more knowledge about the impact of things than we did before. And that's why, I don't know if you were in here when I was talking about FEMA. They say that FEMA is doing a land grab, right? That came up during the Hawaii fires, that came up during this time, but it's not necessarily that they're doing a land grab. It's like it's literally someone's job to go and say, is this property safe to live on? And it might not be. I don't know what the damage is that the fire did to the landscape, right? I can't I do know just because I live not too far, like, I've been to the Palisades before. It's on, like, a hillside. Every time there's rain, there's mudslides in Malibu, which is right next to the Palisades. Um, but now that it's been affected by fire, is that gonna make it more unsafe? Like, if all this damage happened because it was in a dangerous fire zone, is it safe to build there again? Like, and that's the thing. It is someone's job at FEMA to go in and say, yes or no, it's safe to live there, or no, it's not safe to live there. And I wouldn't want to hear that. I would be so devastated if this house that I worked so hard for, that contributes to so much of my net worth, if first of all, you've lost everything, and then for somebody in the government to come in and say it's no longer safe to live there. But I think that the government is trying to protect you from having something like that happen again to you in the future. They're trying to say, "Hey, that's not safe, so we can't allow this to happen again." That's what I think. It's not easy, right? I don't wanna let the weird fish die, and I think it might be a sign that there's a bigger issue. But if you know now, hey, helping the fish is gonna mean that this whole town, this whole city, that they lose everything. Is that what you want? No, of course not. Of course not. So I don't know. And I don't think anybody knows, right? They don't really, really know. They're all just trying to do the best that they can. So I don't, and then there's people that say that they want less government intervention, and then people that say, "No, they need more because, like, we're not smart enough to make the decisions on our own," and I don't know. I don't know. I know it's not easy, and I don't envy those politicians. Okay. Hi, Big Cheese. With all of these fires and how expensive it's going to be, it makes me wonder if many of the big time insurance companies will get close to the edge of bankruptcy. I think they already did and already were. Like, that's and then what happens if they file bankruptcy? Do they have to file the claims? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Um, because the insurance companies were already closing and exiting. Who did I think I had Berkshire Hathaway Insurance, and they were just like, "We're not insuring you anymore, lady. Good luck." State Farm, um, I don't think they canceled policies, but they raised rates. Really, they raised rates a lot, and they're not taking any new people. Like, a lot of the existing, this is why I'm with Bamboo. It's not like I could just go to somebody that has, like, a reputable reputation and say, "Knock, knock, knock. Hi, my old insurance carrier dropped me. Sign me up for a new policy." It was not like that. It was like, "Hey, nobody wants to insure California. Good luck. You're gonna have to find some shady offshore company, and, like, that's definitely not gonna pay your claim if there were actually an emergency, but it satisfies what the bank wants." Yeah. Okay. Scattershot 8 says, "It seems like the insurance companies will be paying for half of the recovery in California. Senator Adam somebody looking for a federal bill to pay the other half." But like, okay, and then we were talking about politicians, and it does not matter which side. If I'm sitting up in the White House and Gavin Newsom comes and he says, "Knock, knock, knock. We need the money to rebuild everybody's house." Or even if I was like, let's say we're friends and you say, "Shelly, my house burned down to the ground. Government won't pay to rebuild it. Will you give me the money?" It would not be responsible of me to give somebody that money, to lend somebody that money. Maybe if I had enough to just give them, sure. And maybe that's what they're asking the government to do. But it would not be financial. If it was a loan, it would not be responsible of me to give somebody a loan. I would want to know, well, what's going to prevent this from happening in the future? Right? It's not great. There's some weird fish. I don't know what I was listening to, but like we apparently passed a law about these fish that protected them, and then we needed the water, but we couldn't get the water because it was where the protected fish live. I don't know, something like that. Debbie said, high cost of food, gas, etc. Everyday basics to survive is over the top and way too much. Money is so tight, work projects are few and on the downslope. Plus tax season is here. Yeah, I'm gonna owe this year. Hi, Joy and Joey. California says, not California. Debbie says California has money to upgrade infrastructures on many, if not all levels. These fires would not be so far gone with better controls, brush cleaning, etc. Yeah. And apparently they cut like the fire department budget by like 17 million or something. You're seconds behind and you heard me my fish comment. Sorry, you're over here cracking up. Yeah, it's okay. I just don't know. Lisa says it's a dilemma. I don't carry earthquake insurance. I don't either. I've always heard in California it would be pointless that FEMA would cover before your insurance would, and it would cost so much money that it basically makes it not worth it. But Lisa says it's a dilemma. I don't carry earthquake insurance, so I would be screwed if an earthquake took out my house. Long-term planning by the state for reserves to cover these disasters. Yeah. So I've always heard that if there was an earthquake, that FEMA would take care of it. That's what I've heard. But now I will really tell you. So I follow a YouTuber. His name is Sean Hendricks. He works with Mr. Beast, right? And I met him in person. I wouldn't call him an acquaintance, but I met him in person at Vid Summit conference. And yeah, Joy and Joey says that the deductible is so high. Like it's maybe not worth it. But I've always heard, oh, like you don't really need earthquake insurance. FEMA would come in and like pay and if there was really that much damage from an earthquake. But what is happening in North Carolina is FEMA is coming in and paying people, but then they're also coming in and saying, you know what? They're not taking people's land, but they are telling them, hey, I'm sorry, you're too close to this river to rebuild here. So that's kind of why people are saying it's a land grab. And they're like, oh, it was good enough to get the permit and like people have lived here for years and it would be fine and yada, yada, yada. But now that it's happened once, now you're saying they can't rebuild when like people have lived here like, maybe 3-4 generations have lived right there next to the river. But yeah, when there's a flood, then you say, like maybe that wasn't the best idea to move that close to the river. And I'm so sorry, but you're not able to do that again. So I guess what I'm saying is many of us are near or on the fault line. So do I think that if there were an earthquake that like leveled our houses, that although I was always told FEMA would take care of it, is FEMA going to come in? Would they come in and say, you know what, I'm so sorry, but you're too close to a fault line to rebuild there? And unfortunately, I think that answer would be yes. The anecdote, because we're getting close to the hour mark. Time to put all electric wires underground. I would like that. I don't think this one, actually, I thought there was a thing that said that like putting the electric power lines underground was a thing, and I sure wish they would because they ugly up my neighborhood. But and that would create lots of jobs for people. Also, I do think that there's going to be a lot of jobs in construction coming to California. I also think that I think prices on non like critical, like if I'm not rebuilding a house, guess what? Your vanity project, you just want to remodel your kitchen, I'm going to charge you more for it because like I would rather be helping somebody rebuild their home. And if you're so, I don't want to say you're so greedy because like my bathroom needs repaired. It gets really wet and I don't really know why and like whatever. But like if you just decide you don't like your pink tile anymore and you want to change it, but there's nothing structurally wrong with your house, I'm charging you more. Don't take my time away from rebuilding someone's home and their life. Debbie says, times have changed. Too many people, new knowledge at hand. We need upgrades prior to rebuilding everything. Yeah, and I tend to agree with that. Yeah, like somehow like make it earthquake safe. Like, and they do have that cost, risk, benefit analysis. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I do think the government does that, but unfortunately, I think that's why they're like, no, sorry, you're not allowed to rebuild there because the risk is too high. And it's really sad, but I don't have the answer. I don't think any one politician has the answer. Okay, the anecdote. Okay, guys. And like, first of all, I have friends that lost everything in the fire. They seem to be in good spirits. Is it shock? I don't know. And by friends, I mean acquaintances that I went to like elementary and junior high school with, and that really like we're just friends on Facebook, and I haven't seen them in a long time. But I guess I still consider them friends. I don't know. Like we spent a long time together when we were younger as kids in school. My school was K through 12, and I went through from first grade to like eighth or ninth grade until maybe 10th grade until I transferred schools. And I still, oh, dang it. I'm gonna have to call somebody back. There's gonna be a work call in just 1 second. Okay, so I'll have to wrap this up soon. But one of the girls said that she had to drop her pets off at the Pasadena Humane Society. And I'm thinking maybe about reaching out to her and being like, "Hey, like, would you rather I keep your pets here for you?" Because a lot of the animal shelters are saying that they're full, and it's gonna be a while before people are able to care for their pets. So I'm really thinking about like offering to like house someone's pet. It doesn't necessarily have to be hers. I do need to be cognizant. I live with my mom, so I'd have to be careful about like jumping animals and stuff. Like it would need to be like a calm dog. My mom's allergic to cats. She's probably allergic to dogs too. Um, there would need to be like some stipulations surrounding this, but part of me wants to like help an actual animal or two or three or four. And then I texted my friend. I was like, because a lot of the large animal sanctuaries are full. And the fires got really close to like where the people took their animals to like stay safe. And luckily it didn't seem to hit that, but God, that would be heartbreaking. If you drop your animal, okay, let's not go down that route, but that would be heartbreaking. But I told my friend, I was like, hey, I can fit a horse back there, right? Like, okay, horse stalls, hear me out on this. Horse stalls are not very big. Do you have to have a horse stall and like land for the horse to run around on? Because I definitely do not have land for a horse to run around in, but definitely like my back patio for sure bigger than a horse stall. So could I like house a horse? That's my anecdote. Okay. Also, I just would like to share, where is it? I wanted to show that I did, where is it? Okay. I don't know if you can tell. This was oh dear God, that picture even. I donated last week after the live $105.08, a one-time donation to the Pasadena Humane Society. And then Red Cross, that's for someone that donated an extra $5 last week, and they said to put it towards the Red Cross. And I did do that. We did because I hit yes to covering the fees or whatever for the donation. $107.63 to the Red Cross. That's what I could afford at the time. And then I also did $25 to a couple of my personal friends' GoFundMes. Guys, let me know if you think I could fit a horse in my back patio. It's really small, and I don't know how to ride a horse. I told the friend, I was like, "Oh, I can fit a horse, right?" 1, horses scare me. 2, I couldn't ride a horse, walk a horse, none of that. A bale of hay would also fit back there. A bale, like, I could feed the horse, I could put some water back there. Um, my friend was like, "You could brush the horse." I could brush it. I feel like I could brush it as long as the horse didn't bite me. But anyway, put a horse back there. Um, yeah. Check your insurance. I'm curious, like, is yours also just a piece of paper that you pay a lot of money for? Um, yeah. All right. I hope everybody stays safe. Be kind to each other. Like Mr. Rogers said, look for the helpers out there. Um, all right. I'm actually going into Pasadena today. That's the location I'm going to work at today. I don't think I have to pass any of the destruction, but I am a little nervous even just going there and being that close to it. I think a lot of the other people that work there, I don't think they actually grew up there. So I don't think they went to like high school and school there. So like even though my coworkers like live there now, I don't know. I just feel like all of LA is hurting about this on some level. So please be kind to each other. Do what you can, protect your homes. And hi, Christina or Christine. I'm actually about to head out today. I think this was a good talk. Lisa, I really appreciated your comments in here. Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. All right, guys, have a great rest of your Sunday, and thanks so much for watching Shelly's Millions.